Hello everyone, welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Friday, February 12th. We're going to be talking about some NBA DFS picks today for both FanDuel and Draft Kings. But before we get into it, we'll talk about yesterday's picks. Kind of rough day once again with some of these picks due to some bad luck. But on the FanDuel side, we had Damian Lillard. He got to 47.5. He has $9,800 price tag. We're looking for about $49.50 out of him. Didn't quite get there, slight miss. Hopefully he did not wreck your lineup in that regards. Tyrese Maxey, kind of one of my favorite sleeper plays for the day. Low value guy, $3,200. He only ended up with 6.25 points, so he was a miss. Didn't quite get the minutes that we thought. Production just wasn't quite there. There was a lot of news that came out later in the day yesterday that had opened some value up. Isaiah Stewart, Dwayne Bacon, James Ennis a little bit. Hopefully you guys were able to kind of pivot to one of those guys in that spot, for a pay down option. Derrick Jones Jr., $3,800, 22.25. He was a hit. Like I said, we were just looking for 20 points or more out of him. He definitely did that part. Jeremy Grant, he was a major disappointment yesterday, 24.25 points. And this was out without Mason Plumlee in the game. Jeremy Grant's someone I do like once again today. Mason Plumlee may not play. Blake Griffin's probably not going to play. He's going to rest today. We'll get over to that a little bit more as we talk about the injuries after I get done with the recap. Bam Adebayo, $8,600. You're looking for 43 points out of him. I thought he could get to 45, 50 pretty easily. Apparently, DeMarcus Cousins stepped his game up. The one thing about Bam is he had 8 turnovers, though, which is insane. That really knocked him down a little bit. You lost 4 points right there just from that. On the FanDuel side, we have Frank Mason. I'm a big Kansas fan. Every time I get a chance to play a Jayhawk, I'll do it if it makes sense. It made a ton of sense yesterday with Frank Mason. He was going to get 30 minutes. 4 minutes in the game, hurts his groin, gets pulled out. 0 points for us. At one point, he did have a steal, but then they took that away from him even too. So there is plenty of people yesterday that played Frank Mason. On DraftKings, he was a little bit more popular. So if you play on DraftKings, you still might have been able to get by without him. On FanDuel, it was kind of impossible just due to some other performances. But that's just a big miss. You can't really plan on injuries, so it's just kind of a tough pill to swallow when they do happen. Dwayne Bacon, $4,100. He got helped out probably a little bit by his Frank Mason injury, but he definitely paid off. 32.1 points, definitely a hit there. He's same price today, so he's definitely in play today once again. Jimmy Butler, $8,700. You were looking for 44 points out of him. He got you 51. Definitely a hit there. Tobias Harris, at power forward, honestly, yesterday we were just looking for somebody that was kind of consistent. I thought that'd be Tobias Harris, $7,800. You're looking for about 39, 40 points out of him. Got you 33.7, so he was a miss, but hopefully he was somebody that didn't kill your lineup. Later in the day, we got Isaiah Stewart opening up, which definitely paid off if you were able to pivot to him. But if you had some of these earlier power forwards, Bam Adebayo, Jason Tatum, you were just kind of locked in already, especially if you played both of them together. Then last but not least, we had Enes Kanter, $6,500. We were looking for about 33, 35 points out of him. He only got 28.8, so that was a miss as well. But we're going to get moved over to the injuries real quick. So we go through and kind of just list off the new ones or the notable ones. Knicks, nothing major there. For the Wizards side, Bradley Beal is going to be out in this game due to rest. Whoever plays most of the minutes at shooting guard in this game is definitely going to be a value. Just kind of keep an eye on that one as we get closer to game time. Then for the Timberwolves, you got Jared Culver still out. D'Angelo Russell's out once again. And then on the Hornets side, we got Devontae Graham. He's questionable. They said if he does end up playing today, he's going to come off the bench. So I'd kind of avoid him either way. If he does play, it kind of knocks everybody else's values down quite a bit. If he doesn't play, everyone's still in play. Then the Spurs are without LaMarcus Aldridge once again. They get Derek White back, though, so he's obviously in the starting lineup. The Hawks are the same as last time. No Bogdanovich, no Dunn, no Hunter, no Rondo. And the Pelicans and the Mavericks, they're both healthy. No major concerns there. Detroit, kind of like we talked about already. Mason Plumlee is questionable. He might not play. If he doesn't play, Isaiah Stewart's definitely in play. Even if Mason Plumlee does play, I don't think he's going to get 30 minutes or more. So Isaiah Stewart's probably going to be in play either way. Blake Griffin, they don't have him out yet, but he's pretty much doubtful to play due to rest on the back-to-back. Killian Hayes is still out. Jahlil Okafor they have listed as out as well. Frank Jackson's questionable whether or not he's going to play. Then on the Celtics side, we got Marcus Smart still out. Robert Williams out. Kemba Walker's out due to rest. Langford's been up all year, so don't have to worry about him. But Peyton Pritchard's who they have penciled in to start right now. Could be Jeff Teague, but I think Peyton Pritchard's definitely in play. We'll go over him a little bit more later on. Keep an eye out to see if Tristan Thompson and Daniel Tice start in this game or not. If Detroit's going with Jeremy Grant as the power forward or Sadiq Bey, or even if they play Seka there as well, you could see Grant Williams or Semi Ojale once again. Ojale did start yesterday, and he actually put up a pretty good game overall, so he's definitely somebody to consider as a low-end value. Then on the Clippers side, Paul George is out once again. The Bulls have the same guys out once again. Wendell Carter Jr. is doubtful, so it's unlikely we see him playing. Oklahoma City Thunder, pretty much the same thing as last time. Just keep an eye out for Isaiah Roby to see if he plays or not. Otherwise, we got the same 8 guys as the last time they played. And then the Nuggets, literally just the same. PJ Dozier, Gary Harris out once again. The Bucks, all we're looking for is Drew Holiday still out. Definitely gets a boost, to DiVincenzo, Forbes, Middleton, Giannis. And then on Jazz side, still got Mike Conley out. For the Grizzlies, you still got DeAndre Melton out, Brandon Clark out now. Desmond Bane's out as well. They have Grayson Allen penciled in to start. We'll see if he ends up starting or if it's someone else. Could move Kyle Anderson back to 3, start Tillman. Just keep an eye out on that one. Lakers side, Anthony Davis is questionable once again. We'll see if he ends up playing. Caruso is looking like he's going to play in this one, so that should change up the bench just a little bit, but nothing major. LeBron's still questionable, but likely to play. Maybe one of these days they'll actually give him a rest. He's played over 40 minutes the last 3 games, but those last 3 games have all been in overtime as well. On the Cavaliers side, they do have Matthew Dellavedova down as questionable. We'll see if he's able to play or not, but nothing too relevant for DFS. And then Portland side's pretty much the same as it's been. Orlando is one of the spots to watch now tonight. They have Aminu and Carter Williams both down as questionable. Kind of looking like they might play. I don't know if that's going to end up happening, though. But obviously the ones you want to watch, Cole Anthony, Frank Mason, Evan Fournier. King side is pretty much the same as it's been recently. So with that being said, we're going to move over to DraftKings, talk about my picks on DraftKings real quick. So first off, we got Peyton Pritchard, $3,800. You're looking for at least 19 points out of him. If he gets you anything over 20, that's a bonus. He's averaging 17 fantasy points per game. Obviously, he's going to be playing more in this game without Kemba Walker in the game. He could get, 28 to 30 minutes in this game. If he does that, I think he definitely gets you over that 20-point mark that you're looking for. Garrison Matthews, this is the interesting one. He's the flat minimum $3,000. Like I said, no Bradley Beal in this game. He should get more run. Maybe he ends up in the starting lineup. If he ends up in the starting lineup, he's definitely in play. You're looking for 15 fantasy points out of him. Hopefully getting 20 or more. Then small forward, we're going back to Lou Dort once again. Last game he was very, very good there. You could also look at Diallo as well in this spot. He's a little bit pricier, though. I do like a lot of these Oklahoma City guys. Once again, obviously, they still only have 8 or 9 guys that are available to them. For Dort, you're looking for 25 fantasy points out of him. That's not out of the question. Last time he definitely showed you that he can get there. Jeremy Grant, next one up. I know he failed us yesterday, but $7,500, real good price there. You're looking for about 38 fantasy points out of him. I still think he gets you over 40. If Blake Griffin doesn't play, if Mason Plumlee doesn't play, he's going to have a giant usage bump, and that's definitely going to help him out as well. Isaiah Stewart, $3,100. Like I said, you only need 16 fantasy points out of him. That's pretty much what he's averaging. If he gets you anywhere near last night, Mason Plumlee doesn't play, he is a smash play. He's a lock in your lineup. Set it and forget it. Today I did more value options out there. There's going to be more value options open out throughout the day. I think there's not going to be any shortage of value today. Kind of unlike what we saw yesterday until later on in the day. But if you go with these 5 guys, you got $27,700 left to spend over. That's almost $9,300 per player. You can spend up for some very, very good players. Giannis, Jokic, LeBron James, Damian Lillard, Luka Doncic. All these guys can fit in your lineup pretty easily. You could probably even fit 2 of them in if you really want to. But with that being said, these are my picks for DraftKings for today. So we'll get moved over to the FanDuel side, talk a little bit over there as well. So on FanDuel, we'll start off with point guard Russell Westbrook. Like I said, Bradley Beal's not playing in this game. $8,700. You're looking for 44 fantasy points out of him. I think he can get you over 50 pretty easily as long as this game stays competitive. Then at shooting guard, we have Terrence Ross, $4,900. You're looking for 25 fantasy points out of him. This is mainly if, Evan Fournier doesn't play, if Cole Anthony doesn't play, if they don't get somebody back that's going to be able to handle the ball kind of as that point guard or pseudo point guard. If they don't, that's going to pretty much be Terrence Ross in this game, kind of like we saw last night. As much as it kills me to say Terrence Ross is kind of chalky today, and usually chasing the Terrence Ross chalk ends up not too well. If this is the situation, I think he's still a very good play. Definitely somebody that you can consider, and then even if if some of those other guys come in, then you can kind of switch off. Maybe you switch down to like Dwayne Bacon instead, save some money, and then just kind of leave some spaces open at the end of your lineup if you're going with Terrence Ross at the shooting guard position. Next up, Chris Middleton, $8,000. We're looking for 40 fantasy points out of him. Pretty close to what he's averaged this year. We've seen him have double-digit assists. We've seen his minutes go up to about 36 minutes with no Drew Holiday. This should be a pretty competitive game once again against Utah, so definitely somebody that you want to consider today. Definitely going to pay off. I think he gets you 45 to 50 points pretty easily in this one. And I typically don't like putting the same guys on both sites, but sometimes they're just too good. Isaiah Stewart's going to be one of those guys. I think Peyton Pritchard's probably another one of those guys, but he's not quite as good on FanDuel, but he's still really good. Isaiah Stewart, $3,600. We saw him have that 10 times multiplier yesterday. And if he can do anything like that, if Mason Plumlee is out or limited in this game once again, Isaiah Stewart, $100 over that minimum price. You're looking for 18 points out of him. I think he gets that pretty easily. He gives you that 30-point upside if he is starting in this game. Then last but not least, we're going right back to Big Al Horford, $6,200. He's going to get you about 30 minutes. He's definitely going to get you 35 points. You're looking for 31. And we've seen it now twice in games like this where he's had that 50-point upside. And if you get that out of Al Horford, it makes the rest of your lineup even better because you're not paying up for a Jokic or a Vucevic. These are guys that are, like $4,000 more. That savings that you're saving there. You can afford to pay up for a Chris Middleton. You can afford to pay up for a Giannis. You can afford to pay up for anyone else like that. It gives you so much flexibility in your lineup when you have Isaiah Stewart and Al Horford tonight that it just opens up so many more possibilities for other higher end plays. But with that being said, these are my 5 picks for FanDuel. If you go with these 5, you have $28,600 left over, just under $7,200 per player to spend. Definitely a lot of options you can go with there, mix and match some guys throughout. If you're building multiple lineups, like I said, explore those different options at small forward and power forward as well. There's a lot of good options on this slate, 11 games, 22 teams in total, so definitely a lot of players out there. Once again, as always, guys, make sure you keep on top of that news. I will be commenting down below some of the news that comes out through the day, trying to help you guys out as best that I can. But once again, if you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to ask. I'm definitely here to help you guys out. And with that being said, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. It really helps build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports. And that's really one for you, the viewers, helping you guys with your fantasy football, helping you with DFS, covering football news. And as we move forward to baseball season, we'll be covering fantasy baseball and baseball news as well. But with that being said, if you're a newer current subscriber is yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It lets you know every single time I post up a new video. This weekend, I will be putting up the DFS picks every single day. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys all do well in DFS tonight. Hopefully we all avoid that injury bug that's kind of been plaguing us last few days or so. But overall, I think it's going to be a great night. And with that being said, I really appreciate each and every one of you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.